My name is Kira and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do your own nails at home. I just wanted to start this video off by saying I am by far not a professional nail tech. However, I have been making my own press-on nails at home for the past year or so. So I started wearing press-ons from the drugstore, but they weren't exactly what I was looking for. And then I realized that I could just start making them at home. So I will go over all of the supplies that you'll need to get started and how to use those supplies to their fullest potential. I will be using gel products today. I know there's a lot of stigma around gel products because they can be very dangerous if you don't use them properly. You can also make press-ons with just regular nail polish if that is more comfortable for you. You just might not be able to get the designs that you may want due to all of the drying time. And before we start, I just wanted to say thank you guys for choosing to watch my video. This is actually my first video on YouTube ever. I really appreciate you guys for clicking on my video and I hope that you learned something new today. So let's get started. The top priority items that you will need to invest in quality wise. We will start off first with, you guessed it, a nail lamp. You cannot skimp on quality in terms of a nail lamp. The gel lamp is what sets your nail polish. If you don't invest in a good nail lamp, it's possible that it will not cure your gel polish fully. You really want to be careful in choosing your nail lamp, and you also want to pick one with a reflective bottom. I use one from, I believe the brand, I will insert a picture or video, from Sun UV, and it comes with a reflective bottom which helps bounce the light from the UV lights all around the chamber. You don't want to use one of those little pens you see on TikTok to cure your nails. That is for flash curing only when you are just trying to set a design in place when you're doing art. Please carefully follow all curing instructions that are on your nail polish bottles and the packaging of your nail lamp. Second thing that you will need is some good Gel X tips. In terms of Gel X tips, you can go with a cheaper alternative, but I personally have only found good use with Apres. Apres invented Gel X and they also license people for Gel X manicures. Their tips can get a little expensive, but if you really think about it price-wise, it comes to under $1, I believe, for a full set of nails. I found that when I tried to go with a cheaper alternative, they just did not hold as well as Apres did. And the third thing you will need is polish. Polish is something that you also need to consider the quality of before purchasing. However, if you are careful and you use gloves while making your press-ons, you can probably get away with using a lower quality nail polish. I personally have used Beetles many a time and it's worked perfectly fine for me. I've seen a lot of Beetle slander all over social media because people have used it and then attained a gel allergy. It is a HEMA product. HEMA is basically the ingredient in gel products that causes contact dermatitis or gel allergy, but pretty much every gel product has HEMA in it. There is HEMA free, tends to not work as well as HEMA products. From what I've read, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Beetles just tends to have a higher level of HEMA than other products. When I started, I will insert a photo and leave a link down in the description of the Beetles kit that I started with. It's a good range of colors and it gives you a lot of creative ability. I also definitely recommend a lot of other polishes. I personally like to use D&D. You probably see their polishes in a lot of nail shops. And the fourth thing that you will need to start your own press-ons at home is a nail stand. This is more personal preference. It just prevents you from getting gel on your hands because you can just prop up the press-on nails and you can paint them on a stand and then put them on your nails instead of having to put them on first and then paint. It also makes it really easy to maneuver the nail and be able to get the design that you want. And those four things are like the very basic things that you will need in order to make like a very basic set of nails. Of course, if you're looking to get into designs that aren't just like solid color, you will need plenty of other supplies like liner brushes, dotting tools, probably some charms, and charm glue, 3D sculpting gel. There's so many things that you can put on your nails. Now that we've gone over the basics, let's get started on a set of nails. I don't have a design picked as I'm filming. I'm actually going to pick one right after I'm done filming. So I'm gonna insert a photo of the inspiration that I'm gonna go based off of today. A lot of the times, because I do run a small business, I like to create my own designs so that I can market them, but today I'm just looking for a cute little fall design, you know? And I'm not looking to market these ones, so I'm probably just gonna like copy paste. If you guys would also like to show some support for my small business, I will also be leaving a bunch of links to my Etsy shop and also like my business Instagram, TikTok, etc., etc. Of course, I'm teaching you guys how to make these press-on nails yourself, but of course, if you want to support me in any way, I am more than happy to make you guys a nail design as well, or even just a follow, and liking some of my content means the whole world to me. Now, on to the nails. Starting off, I'm just getting out my nail stand and gathering all of my supplies. This is the base and top gel that I'll be using today, along with the nude base for some of the nails, Apres gold liner gel, a brown polish from Beetles, a paint palette, along with some dotting tools, some liner brushes, and some charms, as well as the rhinestone glue to apply, blooming gel, and these are the nail tips that I'll be using today. I appropriately size my nails and then place them all on the nail stand. Then wiping down the tips with some rubbing alcohol to chemically buff the top surface before putting on some base gel. This just helps the base gel adhere better to the nail because I don't like to buff with a nail file. And then I'm going in with the base coats. I always make sure to fully cover each nail before curing, and this time I did 2 coats on each nail for the base colors. You may need to do more depending on the opacity of your polishes. This is 1 coat compared to 2. Blooming gel can be quite a bit of a learning curve for beginners, and this is one of the easier designs to do with it, in my opinion. So I'm starting off with a very thin layer of blooming gel on the nail. Using too much can create air bubbles in the blooming gel. And then just creating a circle of 5 dots around the center of the nail while the blooming gel is still wet to create a flower. And from there, you just have to let it bloom out for probably about a minute or so. I sped this clip up, but you can see over time the blooming gel kind of spreading towards the outer edges of the nail. You may have to repeat this a couple of times because blooming gel does not always work in our favor, but that's pretty much the gist of it. It just takes a lot of practice to get the look that you desire from blooming gel. Aura nails are the thing that I struggled with the most when learning how to do nail art, but this is my tried and true way of doing it without an airbrush, just using some matte top coat and eyeshadow. This is an eyeshadow palette that I no longer use for many reasons, but I just dot it in the center and blend it out with an eyeshadow brush that I no longer use on my eyes. You definitely don't want to use the brushes that you're putting on your nails on your face. You also want to make sure that the matte top coat that you are using is not powder resistant. This one is not, but I have a couple that are. After I achieved the desired look from the Aura, I just applied a shiny top coat, and now I'm just going in with my gold liner gel from Apres. This is my favorite way of cheating a chrome look. It doesn't perfectly replicate what chrome powder would do on a nail, but it's a nice way of catching a break and still achieving a similar look. If you guys would like a tutorial on isolated chrome, by all means let me know in the comments. I think that I have a pretty good tried and true method on how to get perfect isolated chrome every time, but for this specific nail, I'm just kind of going around the edges of the nail with the gold liner gel and almost creating like a football type look, if you can't tell. This is just gonna help me map out like the blank space in this nail. It's a little bit funky, but I'm just creating a bunch of circles and ovals to kind of get that unique abstract type French look. I don't know how to describe this nail. If anybody knows the name to like this specific nail design, let me know what it is, because I do it pretty frequently. But once I have all of the blank spaces mapped out and lined, I'm just going in and filling in the parts that I do want to be gold around the perimeter. And it turns out looking something like this. Now it's time to just add some gold beads to the center of the blooming gel flowers, so I'm just going to take some rhinestone glue and dot it in the center of the blooming gel flowers, and that little swirling motion just keeps the string of glue from like ruining the texture of the nails, and you just place them on and cure them. It's as simple as that. And then just going in with top coat to finish off the nails, and that's the whole nail design. Now Now moving on to application, starting with the most important part of this entire process is pushing back your cuticles. This helps with retention, whether it be Gel X, acrylic, press-ons, doesn't matter. And I use a cuticle remover from Blue Cross that you can find on Amazon for under $10, I believe, and use a metal cuticle scraping tool. You can also use a wooden stick. Wooden sticks usually come in all press-on kits that you can find at the drugstore. It's also what I would provide in my application kits when you order a nail set from me. And then just wiping my nails down with some alcohol before I go in and clip some of my cuticles. Be very careful if you choose to do this. You don't want to make yourself bleed. I am just a nail and skin biter, so I was removing some of the excess skin that I had around my nails. And then just going in with a buffing block and buffing the tops of my nails until the shiny layer on top is gone. This is just as important as cuticle prep in my opinion. And now it is time to glue on your nails after you've wiped off your nail dust, of course. I take a small bead on the fake nail and a small dot on my real nail, and then I just press and hold for 20 to 30 seconds. You want to be sure that you're not flooding your nails in a bunch of glue, because then it just ends up being really messy and you won't get a really clean look, but you want to make sure that you have enough that evenly covers your nail plate to keep that press-on adhered to your nails for as long as possible. Personally, using this application method that I have just shown keeps these nails on for me for at least 2 weeks without any popping off. And this is what they look like, fully on, but we are not finished yet. We are gonna go in with some cuticle oil. This is a cuticle oil that I got off of Amazon. It works very well and it has a very pleasant smell, but it's not too overbearing. And after this entire process, I just try to avoid submerging my hands in water for at least an hour. And here's the final product. Thank you guys so much for joining me on recreating this beautiful set of nails. I think they turned out amazing and I had so much fun creating this video. If you guys would like more nail tutorials, let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see next. See you guys next time!